Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Dogecoin, what has happened to its price over the past day, and where I predict the price to go to in the near future, as well as some key price levels and some trades I'm looking to make. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you're one of the 88% of people who watch my videos and not yet subscribed to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump into the charts of Dogecoin, get those annotations back up on the screen, and let's talk about what has happened. So of course, here on Dogecoin, we've seen the price plummet over the past few days. Basically, over yesterday, we saw everything transpire to do with the two major exchanges, Binance and FTX. And what we did actually originally see was this kind of fake pump that we had here on the price. It looked like there was some sort of good news, and there was this triangle that we spotted yesterday on Dogecoin, and of course it was a breakout indeed. So the price target was from yesterday's video 11 cents, and we did manage to reach that. So if you did trade that, then congratulations. But of course, since that fake pump that we had, we saw Dogecoin price plummet to some certain levels down here. Of course, we saw it's high at 11 cents to a low of around 7.8 cents, a 30% drop on Dogecoin. We stabilized in this area between 8.5 to 9 cents now on Dogecoin. But of course, I had to make a second video yesterday because of how bad the whole crypto market was and how bad this was. And so basically, if you don't know, I will just recap it in this video, is basically FTX has become insolvent. They've basically not got enough money to pay back all the people that are holding their crypto on the FTX exchange. And therefore, Binance has had to step in to buy FTX to solve this liquidity crunch, they called it. It did look like it was good news, and hence we saw this pump. But at the end of the day, it's not great news. Everything was revealed yesterday, and that's why we saw everything plummet. Of course, if you have a look at Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin, which leads the rest of the cryptocurrency market. So if Bitcoin makes a move, then the altcoins like Dogecoin make a similar move. And in Bitcoin, it has been a tragedy here. We're sitting at 17,400 right now. A very brutal day for everyone who's long on cryptocurrency. We've seen Bitcoin lose its major support, which I'll talk about in a second. But on Dogecoin right now, we're sitting here at this level at 8.7 cents. Of course, if we cannot hold this 8.7 cents level, then I do believe the next level down, as determined by these fib lines that I've drawn, is this 8 cents level. And of course, as you can see, it kind of marries these two bottoms here quite nicely, although the dip's slightly under. And of course, if we cannot hold this 8 cents level, then we're probably going to fully retrace back down to around 6 cents. Now, the good news is for people who are holding Dogecoin, we've been in this downwards trend at the moment. Of course, we've kind of ignored this fake pump because it was a very quick, very fake pump. And this trend line has kind of determined the trend of Dogecoin, as you can see, since Monday, the start of the week. And now we've actually come above this trend line. So Dogecoin, I believe, is the only coin that is in the green at the moment, since we've pumped from the bottom here of 7.8 cents all the way to 9.1 cents. And we're doing better than other cryptocurrencies generally. But of course, how long this pump will last and how long this more bullish direction on Dogecoin will last is really down to what I believe Bitcoin is doing. And at the moment, I'm sitting out of the markets because Bitcoin is showing a lot of weakness. And like I said just before, if Bitcoin makes a major move, the chances are we're going to see this throughout cryptocurrency as well. So Bitcoin at the moment has lost this zone of support, which is held so dearly onto over the past 5 months. If I just go on the day's chart, you can see that every time the price has come down to this level, every time Bitcoin has come down to this level, it has jumped back up quite quickly. So, you know, Bitcoin doesn't spend too much time in this area. It comes down to it and then shoots back up quite quickly. So this has been quite a respected zone of support here in Bitcoin. And as you can see, we're now below it. We've been following a similar, very bearish trend on Bitcoin, represented by this blue line here. And of course, if you see that parallel on Dogecoin, it's this orange line going down. Now, Bitcoin had a similar fake pump, and the downwards trend intersects it, but over the past few hours, Bitcoin has just been respecting this very bearish trend line. And if it continues to respect it, then I do believe the price target on Bitcoin becomes 16,000. And of course, we're going to see that over the course of today and tomorrow. And eventually, I do believe Bitcoin is going to get down to there. Of course, I'm keeping up to date with the news and current events that's circulating Binance and FTX. I'm following Binance and FTX on Twitter and everything. And of course, that's because if they do tweet something bearish, something bullish, because there's so many eyeballs on these two massive players in crypto, then I believe it has the ability to move the markets in either ways. So of course, if there's some bearish news to come out of Binance or out of FTX, that could add fuel to the fire, and I do believe we can see prices crash further. So if you are holding any cryptocurrencies, if you're looking to buy or sell any cryptocurrencies, I urge you to follow FTX and Binance and the two CEOs as well, Sam and CZ on Twitter, and keep up to date with what they're saying, because anything they say could move the markets quite a lot. So of course, that's one piece of advice. At the moment though, Bitcoin is in this downtrend, and I do believe it's going to be hitting 16,200 over the course of today and tomorrow. I don't think we're seeing any slowing down of momentum at the moment. Of course, if we pull up the RSI and the MACD on Bitcoin, both readings are very, very negative, well below the halfway line, and showing there's a lot of momentum in the downwards direction here for Bitcoin. Of course, a very bearish reading from both the RSI and the MACD. Basically, this downwards momentum is showing no signs of slowing down. As you can see, the MACD line is going in this downwards direction, showing that the momentum is increasing in the downwards direction. And the RSI is showing us that we're basically well oversold since the start of this drop here in Bitcoin. Prices have been oversold. Things are looking extremely bearish. Of course, the signal from the RSI and the MACD could be that if you're looking to hold for the long term, that this could be a good buy zone since everyone is selling. So if we're looking for a contrarian signal, then this would actually be not a bad time to buy if you've got a longer term outlook. But of course, if you're trading, if you're holding for the short term, then prices are probably likely to go lower because of these readings here. So technicals are looking very weak on Bitcoin. Heading to 16,200, I do think will happen. But if we don't stop there, if we don't find any consolidation in this region and we keep heading down, then prices could head further down to 13,400 in my opinion. And that would be the next price target here. Of course, the good news is, in terms of technicals, is that the volume is starting to slow down. Of course, we saw huge sell pressure back here on Tuesday when we saw the initial dump. We came up a little bit, and now we've seen the second dump. We see the volume actually starting to decrease on Bitcoin a little bit. So if it continues to decrease, that means momentum in the downwards direction could slow down, and we could start to see prices improve here on Bitcoin. We could start to see potentially a more sideways or even bullish direction on the price. But, and having said that, if we see Bitcoin go down to 16,200, I do expect Dogecoin to, I do think we could see Dogecoin slide down to 7.4 cents. And if we can't hold 7.4 cents on Dogecoin, then we're heading down to a complete retracement, back down to around 6 cents on Dogecoin. Of course, I'm always on the lookout for chart patterns. So what we could potentially be seeing right now on Dogecoin is this kind of double bottom. Of course, it doesn't really fit what Bitcoin is doing right now because we're still in that bearish trend on Bitcoin. But if we do actually see a double bottom on Dogecoin, and I'm telling you this just to cover everything that I could potentially be seeing, however, of course, although Bitcoin is following that downwards trend, Dogecoin has broken out of this downwards trend for the time being. So this double bottom could be fitting just for Dogecoin, since it seems to be leading the cryptocurrency market with the highest gains at the moment. And indeed, if we're seeing some sort of double bottom here, which is basically a bullish signal since we come in this down direction and now we're heading back up, if we do see this double bottom play out, then we could actually see some sort of price target that looks like this, the first test of support and resistance there, and we could see the prices go to around 10.5 cents. Now, of course, this is if this double bottom plays out, and this is just talking in a matter of fact way. Of course, within the context of what is happening with crypto right now, I do think it's a bit unlikely that we're seeing this, but nonetheless, I just want to set anyway so you can make your own minds up as to whether you think we will see this or not. So I won't be trading this, but if we do see that, then we'll see 10.5 cents here on Dogecoin. And then when we get to that kind of level, then we can start talking about finding a more bullish trend here. Of course, these moving averages say it all. And at the moment, the moving average that I'm looking at is at 10.5 cents, this blue line, this 100-hour moving average on Dogecoin. So, you know, if prices get to there and start flipping it, then that's when I'll be fully bullish here on Dogecoin. Now, of course, that's one of the shorter that's one of the shorter time frame chart patterns that I am seeing. But honestly, if I'm looking to buy Dogecoin, I will not be buying around in this region until cryptocurrency has settled down and until Bitcoin has found a reasonable support somewhere. At the moment, it's still struggling, I do believe, because we've lost its zone of support. But for example, if we do manage to stay in this area for longer and we see some sort of consolidation on Bitcoin and a subsequent breakout into the up or down direction, then that will decisively tell me whether we're going to head lower here on Bitcoin to 16,200 or if we're going to see some relief rally for the time being. So of course, my eyes are on Bitcoin as well. Can we actually hold this level here at 17,600 or so? And if so, we'll be forming this kind of triangle between this resistance going down, and of course we should see a breakout in either direction. And if we go down below, then we should be short on Dogecoin. But if we can see Bitcoin hold this level and we see some sort of relief rally out of this resistance into this zone of support here, then I'll be looking at Dogecoin and seeing what that does as well, and looking for any tradable signals in order to start trading once again. But at the moment, markets are still quite weak right now, as I showed you here with Bitcoin. And if I do see anything, of course, I will be updating my trading view. So be sure to follow me on there. The link is in the description below. But basically, that's really all I have to say on Dogecoin. As a summary of everything, basically, I'm kind of out of the markets at the moment in terms of trading it. I still think there's a lot of weakness in Bitcoin, which kind of dictates the whole cryptocurrency market. And I do think Bitcoin is going to be hitting 16,200. And if Bitcoin does do that, then we should see Dogecoin slide it as well, quite possibly to a region at around 7.4 cents now. But if this double bottom pattern plays out, then we could see a price target of 10.5 cents here on Dogecoin, which would be very, very bullish. And of course, if we get to that region, then we'll be meeting these moving averages as well. So the trend could actually form a more bullish direction away from what cryptocurrency, which is where the moving averages are. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Do let me know in the comments below whether you're holding any Doge. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video.